guys, Tom by 601, and today we have patch notes, and oh boy, guys, it looks like they're coming hard. There is a good chunk of things to do for free. There's a good chunk of things for those paid people. There are some huge balancing changes and a bunch of other things. So let's go ahead and dive on in. The first thing we have is a new mission type called collections. Basically, you're going to have to complete 12 different missions throughout the course of the update, and if you can manage to complete all 12 of those missions, you're going to find yourself a brand new Mikasa 23 sporting a bright new paint job added to your port. This looks like a fun way to kind of recap history and force you to play through the lines. I don't have the full details on it, but I'm here. I'm here for it. If we're gonna have some new missions, let's go. Additionally, speaking of missions and rewards, this update marks the 4 years since this game's been in beta, and if you've been around for all 4 of those years, you're going to get yourself a brand new premium ship. Absolutely free. The Tier 4 Destroyer Cyclone. Don't know what it looks like, but hey, a free Tier 4. If you haven't been around for all 4 years, not to worry. You won't get a free ship, but there will be additional rewards for you. So, yay. I assume what they're going to do is they're going to have it in descending order, so you'll pick up everything that you deserve. So there'll be the year 1 reward if you've been around for only a year, then the year 2, and you'll get the year 1 and year 2, and it'll go up like that. I assume that's how this whole loyalty reward is going to work. Next, after that, we have Golden Week 23. There's some interesting things here. I don't know if it's really too much to write home about. There'll be a new commander guise, which if you're into the commander guises, yay, not much of my tea. But then there will be brand new camos for Nagato and Fuso, which do look pretty cool. They look like a samurai monolith on it. Additionally, Hayate will receive a Golden Week camo similar to last year Golden Week. So yay, Golden Week. That's one of those kind of paid for store events. So don't feel bad if you don't want any of it. It's absolutely optional. To go along with Golden Week, we do have this campaign's campaign ship. It's gonna be a Japanese battleship. I'll be honest, I'm not too enthused. I understand keeping it Japanese just because it's Golden Week and therefore, or because it's Golden Week and they want the synergy of having a Japanese ship. Just feels like we've gotten a lot of battleships for Tier 8 as campaign rewards, but that's okay. What do we have? Well, we have Iwami, big accurate guns. She has torpedoes. We'll see how she works out. It looks like a bigger Nagato. We'll see. After that, we're going to get into some of the balance changes because there's been some fairly big ones. First off, German commanders are getting a rebalancing. We'll go through the details later when I get into the balancing document, but the German commanders have received a pretty big kind of adjustment. And I like what they've done. I'm hoping we start seeing this for every single nation, because I think they've started with a good place here. And if they can roll it out to more, that would be great. After that, radar is getting a rework. So what is now going to happen is when you hit the radar, the person owning the radar, the person using the radar, will instantly spot the offending ships that are in the radius. Everyone else on your team will not. It will appear on their mini-map, and then 5 seconds later, they'll pick up the visual spot on the boat. So a bit of a little change there. I kind of like it. It's a bit of a buff to the destroyers, and they'll need it because we'll get later into some of the other balancing changes, and the destroyers have received a bit of a nerf. So I think this kind of helps balance out their survivability. Additionally, Orkan and Black are getting boosts to their radar duration. Orkan's going up to 20 seconds. Black is going up to 19 seconds. And the most important thing of this radar rework is now within the kill feed, it will say when someone is using radar or sonar for your team. You obviously won't be able to know when someone on the enemy team's using radar or sonar, but you will now know when someone on your team is using radar and sonar. It's not as great as the icons we got in the Halloween missions. That was incredible. I wish they had brought that in, the icon over the ship, but at least this pronounces it to your whole team, so you kind of have an idea when people are using what consumables. Additionally, coming this update, we do have Arena making a return. Season 17 through 19, it will be Tier 7, Tier 8, and Legendary. Full divisions will be allowed, no carriers. So, yay, the first season will be on April 20th. Next, we have something for actual Steel. I know, they've added something brand new for Steel, and I like what they're doing here. We speculated that they're going to add epic mods for Steel. They haven't done that. What they've done instead is added a active camouflage, and by that we're not talking Halo, we're not talking invisibility, but is a frag counting permanent camouflage. They're only starting out with 3 ships: Worcester, Shimakaze, and Yamato. They'll cost 5,000 steel each, and the number on the front of the boat that is displayed will be the number of kills you've gotten in that boat. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I also enjoy the look of the boat. Not sure if I like what boats it's on. I may have to save my my silver or my steel, but I like what they're doing there. That's a cool use for the steel, and I appreciate it. Next, let's get on to the premium ships of the update. First, Tier 6 Collingwood coming to the game. 419mm guns at Tier 6. Main battery reload booster. Big guns. Think of it as a bigger gun to Nelson, but instead of its usual barrels, it only has 2 for each turret. That's kind of Collingwood overall. Additionally, 2 GXP ships coming to the shop. Hayate and Udachi coming for GXP. Pretty exciting there. And then the other thing that you kind of need to know, stats change. The stats per ship are now coming in, which means there'll be a ton of individual stats that you will be able to dive in on. The final little bits of whatchamacallit, kind of bug fixes. I think the biggest one for those of you who bought Atlantico, her 2-inch 234 secondaries will now have quarter pen instead of 1/6 pen, and they'll penetrate armor up to 59mm. Cool. Great. Awesome. That's all of the bug fixes and the patch notes. Let's get into the balance changes, because these are massive. First off, legendary skills are being changed, including Will to Rebuild. Will to Rebuild getting a nerf. She has earned a substantial cut, but more importantly, that's a Will to Rebuild. So, rate of HP restoration per second is being reduced from 0.5% to 0.3%. This is sufficient to counteract damage from 1 fire, and that's it. Cool. Also, Will to Rebuild now restores saturation up to 20%, which means you won't have zombie ships out there anymore. Cool. Awesome. I'm excited to see this. Now, will people switch away? Well, we now have more, some of the other legendary skills are receiving larger buffs. So Farsight, the activation range is going from a minimum of 1.5 kilometers to a minimum of 2 kilometers. The max activation range is staying the same at 3.5 kilometers. The debuff that removed a repair party consumable has been removed. So Farsight no longer has any trade-offs. Excellent. Running with Scissors has received a buff. The main battery shell dispersion trade-off is now a static 3% at any rank, as opposed to the up to 6% penalty that you could receive. And then the activation distance has been buffed from a minimum of 3.5 kilometers to a minimum of 5 kilometers, and then the max range going from 7.5 kilometers out to 8 kilometers. Next, Fight Fire with Fire has also received a buff. Static fire damage reduction swapped with fire reduction per active fire, which will go up to 15% of damage depending on the rank, which will increase its effectiveness overall. Excellent. Awesome. Next, Commander Inspirations. Fire Alarm for Richard Shear has received a simple buff. Damage control party reduction will now be a maximum of 5%, and risk of catching fire reduction will be a maximum of 7%. Hardy, the inspiration for Karl von Mueller, has been dialed back, so maximum cruiser speed is going from a maximum of 5% to a maximum of 4%. And Shifty, this is the big one for destroyers, i.e. the bonus to destroyer detectability, or the reduction in destroyer detectability, going from 5% to 4% for a maxed out Eric Bay, which is a pretty, that 1%, you will feel it with some of those destroyers. So a small nerf to destroyers there, but there are more to come. Next up, these changes apply to every commander who can use these skills. So you should see the other guy, the risk of catching fire reduced from the static 10% to a progressive amount from 5 to 3.5%. Cool. Observe It Rage, i.e. the love of all gunboats out there. Torpedo detectability range is being reduced from a max of 15% to a max of 12% reduction. The rudder shift time increase is going from a 5, 5, 5, 10% to 4, 6, 8, 10%. So it's much more of a step thing. But then the maximum boost to your damage is going from a max of 8% down to a max of 5%. So a fairly substantial nerf right there. Expose has received an extra effect. It'll increase your sonar duration by up to 7.5%. Listen Closely has how its powers redistributed. So sonar cooldown time reduction cut from 50% to 30%. The requirement to get extra sonar charges has been increased from needing only like a quarter built up commander. So you getting 2 charges on the second filling of the circle to getting 2 charges on the third filling of the circle on the commander skill. But the sonar duration decrease is going from 50% to only 15%. So a pretty decent trade-off there. Finally, Fortified has received an extra effect. The max HP of the vessel will now go up by 3%. Cool. Awesome. Now, let's get into the new skills, and these will be exclusive to the German commanders. And I hope we start to see more like this as they rework more and more of the baseline of commanders, the national commanders, because some of these are pretty cool. Note, all of these are an addition. They won't be replacing anything that's out there already. So, pretty great. Here we go. Eric Bay, on his 4th row skill, will now receive Torpedo Royale. It's going to improve torp speed by up to 2 knots, improve torpedo damage by up to 6%, and increase torpedo detectability by up to 100 meters. Maximilian von Spee, he's going to have On Sunset, which is going to be a 4th row skill. It's going to reduce torpedo visibility by up to 150 meters and reduce destroyer visibility by up to 3%. Then we get into Lutgens, Loyalty to the Navy. It's going to be another 4th row skill. It's going to improve cruiser shell grouping against other types of ships. Battleships by 7%, cruisers by 3%, destroyers by 3%. Pretty cool. Von Mueller is going to get Emergency Bell, which is going to be a unique legendary skill. Its passive effects will be cruiser time to reach full engine power reduced by 10%, and cruiser rudder shift time reduced by 10%, followed by the active skill, which will activate based on ship HP. It'll start at 45% and go up to 60%, and it will improve both of those passive skills effects by up to 25%. So Mueller getting some of that good old hipper love, if you know what I mean. He should be pretty interesting. Next, Ciliax, receiving 2 new skills. First is highly educated crew in the 2nd slot, 2nd row. It's designed to work hand in hand with the battle cruisers, which is going to increase secondary gun range by up to 15% and increase damage control party charges by up to 2. Then he's going to have Advanced Schemes, which is a third row skill. It's going to increase secondary gun damage by up to 5% and increase secondary gun chance of causing a fire by up to 2.5%. Finally, we get onto Von Hipper. He's going to have a unique fourth row skill called Knight's Spirit. It's going to boost damage when shooting ships by the following: battleships 12%, cruisers 6%, destroyers 6%. So pretty big changes there. After that, let's get into the final little changes as far as what balancing is going on, and that's going to be King George V and the Noble Duke of York are both getting a bit of a buff. They're receiving an improved repair party, so they're going to get an extra charge added. Repair party cooldown is going to be reduced from 80 to 60 seconds. HP restoration per second is being increased by about 25%. And ship parts will now have more HP restore, making them a little harder to saturate after the repair party. So that's everything, guys. That's everything. It's a pretty good update. I am most excited for the German like rework. I think this is excellent. I really do hope they continue to rework each line. I hope this is just the beginning. Because if it's just the beginning, we could see a brand new meta emerge. We could see brand new ships becoming more powerful. We could really see the game start to shake up, which is exactly what I want to see. But all in all, guys, you'll have to let me know. Let me know down in the comments below. What do you guys think? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What are you excited for in this update? What do you want to see covered first? Let me know. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.